So, talking about family and relatives and how he took care of his relatives. Yeah. Have you ever heard of Aunt Delta?
I've heard of Aunt Delta for sure, yeah.
Aunt Delta is now my new favorite.
Nice.
I could so relate to Aunt Delta.
Nice.
So she was Vernon's sister.
Okay.
And this goes to show you how Elvis took care of his family. She was widowed, 1965, lost her husband. There's a backstory to that too, but
yeah.
So 1965, she lost her husband, and he was known to have a backstory. I'm thinking he was a gambler. But Elvis had 3 of his guys from his Memphis Mafia go and get Aunt Delta and bring her back.
That's cool, yeah.
And so she always had a room.
Yeah.
At Graceland.
Well, and Elvis was big on that too, like because of that family bond that they had and all that. And now they have this giant, mansion, if you will. What's funny, it's called a mansion. I mean, when you're in it, it's for those of you who've been in it, I'm sure you know, it's definitely not like a mansion of what we would think these days. In fact, there's tons of homes these days that are way bigger. But there's all kinds of space, obviously, especially compared to where they came from. So he had no problem having family members in there, which again was just part of his fabric anyway. So
you had Minnie Mae,
yeah,
Aunt Delta, Vern is still alive.
Yep.
So he had these adults keeping him in line, keeping him grounded, keeping him grounded to his roots of where he came from. And that's how Elvis appreciated everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
The old-fashioned values. He took nothing for granted because you never knew when it was going to end.
Yeah, you never knew.
You never knew when it was going to end.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, because Vernon was also very much like that. And then as he managed that whole financial and business affairs along the way, of course, I'm sure a lot of you remember that he was very, very particular about the expending of Elvis, especially as he got later in the 70s and stuff, when his spending got a little bit more extravagant. He got a little bit more loose with the money because, he was doing all these concert tours and so forth. They were bringing a lot of money, but also at the same time, there was a lot more going out than probably what was anyway. Now, you have a story as well, too, about the history of Graceland. Isn't there something with I forget the name of the family that was...
Oh, that's going to be... we're going to talk about that another time.
Okay.
The history. So back to Aunt Delta, who, again, is my... I just so love Aunt Delta. So she remained in the house, and do you know she was the longest living resident?
I did learn that, yes. And I did learn that she, because she was there oddly during when they even started doing tours. Like she was still living there in the house. So what?
And I guess she was known to enjoy a couple having some sips.
Nice.
And she had a personality.
Yeah. She'd crack the whip. Especially I did this story I did hear about, like, she'd crack the whip on the Memphis Mafia guys, and she was like, wasn't she the keeper of the keys? And
keeper of the keys. So she was so her job at Graceland was she oversaw all the housekeepers.
Okay.
And she was a unique personality.
Yeah.
And back then, they would leave all the keys in the cars because you never know. You just wanted to take a car. Well, she didn't like that. And she took all the keys and took them back to the house.
Because the keys didn't belong in the cars. They belonged in the house in the appropriate spot, wherever that may have been. Can you imagine that? Aunt Delta, where's the keys, man?
Yeah. So then Vernon dies. House then goes to the estate of Lisa Marie until she's 25. Step in Priscilla. Had some financial trouble. So then Graceland is open to the public, 81, 82.
Yeah.
And Aunt Delta cut the ribbon.
That's so cool that she was able to do that.
How it's like, who is this woman? It's like, who's Aunt Delta? But she cut the ribbon, and probably how grateful she was that Elvis took her in back then.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. That's so cool. But I just that would kind of blows my mind though. Like you're living in the house. They're giving daily tours live. People are in and out of your house.
And sometimes in the beginning, I guess people would see her outside with her dog.
Yeah, and I
a Pomeranian, and he had like, it was named Edmund.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And then Edmund died.
Yes, and then there was
Edmund 2.
Yeah. And then the other thing, the other funny story I read, I remember a couple of times, I don't know which Edmund it was, one or two, but maybe both of them, ended up getting loose in like the jungle room, I guess a couple of times during tours. So, it's like, what?
And then this comes back to showing you they were a family.
Yeah.
They were not flawless.
Yeah.
The king of rock and roll, the king of entertainment.
Yep.
The family was not flawless.
No.
I mean, do you hear the story when Minnie Mae wanted to see the horses, but she couldn't go outside to see the horses, so Elvis brought a horse in the house and it crapped everywhere?
What? No, I don't think I heard that one.
That's something my family would do. Well, we'll bring the horse to you.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. Really?
But, so the whole sense of family, and I know we talked prior about the Memphis Mafia, family.
Yeah.
And Elvis, everyone thinks Elvis is this king, this icon. He was a man.
Yeah.
He was somebody's son.
Yeah. And he never,
he was somebody's grandson.
Yeah.
He was somebody's nephew. It's like, you don't think of that. You don't think that they had dinner and they fought and, Minnie Mae cooked for them. You don't think that part of Elvis because he's just so big.
Well, I think because too, the way he came off, and maybe part of this was his generosity, perhaps, was that he never ever really forgot where he came from. That was always on the forefront of his mind. He was always willing to stop, take pictures, sign an autograph, whatever, didn't care. He was happy to entertain. He was happy to make fans happy. He knew, and he's even said, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before, he's been on interviews and saying, hey, if there was no fans, I'd be nowhere. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But
so he was grateful. He was grateful that he was able to provide entertainment for his fans.
Mm-hmm. Something that he loved to do, obviously.
Something he loved to do.
Singing and, entertaining.
He provided for his family.
Yep.
He took care of his family. He took care of his circle.
Yep.
He was human.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He was a man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a cool story of just this regular everyday family that made it gigantic in the world, from nothing to everything.
That is the American dream.
It really is.
It is the American dream.
And it's really any dream. I mean, for anybody that anywhere around the world, like if you're struggling and then suddenly, you've made it and you've been able to achieve this type of success or financial stability or what have you like that, to the point of like, you could easily blow that. I mean, there's no question. I mean, without a doubt, it could have been gone. And
right.
Who knows? Maybe if Vernon didn't fall into hard times before, and maybe he would have been more lax and let Elvis do what he wanted to do. Maybe I don't know. Again, I'm just
He would not have been as frugal.
Yeah.
Right? He would have been a little bit more loose with the money.
Yeah. Yeah, so insane how it all just ended up coming back to just being down to earth, remembering who you are, remembering your core, your roots, whatever. And just an incredible story. Yeah, to do that.
But he was somebody's son.
He was. Yep, he was.
He was somebody's grandson.
He was.
But yeah, God bless Aunt Delta. She's. I'm telling you. A little, kind of like a hermit, and here we had all this commotion going on, and little loner, little hermit, and she had some, So I mean, I know, I think Aunt Delta, she's my new hero.